Where is it going to go is another question, you know, because could go top or could be played mid in the AP, as we do have a lot of Western foreign fans coming down here today.
The gentleman got the whisper from the girl that they were on camera. Nautilus will find it very easy to grin and bear it through the lane if you just go AP, but you could also go AP and get your teleports off and it works, right? So I am with you on AP. I don't know if you need the Gunblade because you're not worried about Nautilus damage until it's 9.8 mid lane Nautilus, which is in all of my games in solo queue.
Including me. We're getting ready, guys. Game 2 starts now.
Oh, that was better.
We got some more people flooding into the seats.
All right, I did the
Not
quick
as
maths
empty.
before. How many people are here about us?
I'd say like 80 is my guess.
No, it's more than that.
I'm famously
It's
good
like
at,
I think it's like 130.
130.
Yeah, I mean, there's people.
Are you
all
including
around.
staff and pro
No.
players?
Jisoo just took a boatload of damage from Sora.
Yeah, but he got 10 gold.
That's true.
Oh,
Who's the
Sora.
winner now?
Sora, interrupt it. Oh, man.
Oh, more gold? All right.
Okay.
Excitement. But to be fair,
Action.
do consider that Jisoo started Cull, and it's Nautilus, so he doesn't actually need to return to base. Like, you know there's those players who get poked by one Ezreal Q at 1 minute 20 and still teleport back and miss minions to be full health?
Yeah.
I think Jisoo's going to be all right.
He looks just fine. As he has played 4 games in Challengers Plus promotion of the Canon. 3-1 so far. You notice what you were mentioning before. Kuzan, not his first rodeo on the mid Lucian, 2-1.
Probably the most mid-Lucian of any player this year. Obviously, it's not a pro region. This Challengers career is second-tier region, but it still is, a lot of the Lucian, and we cannot question Kuzan's performance this year. The way it works in Challengers is that you get MVPs based on series MVP, so you must win the series to get any MVP votes. He was player of the series 6 times. That's a lot for a league where you only play 16 games, so very well played to him. Kuzan, wow, this damage from Sora is, if you get into melee range of Nautilus, it actually does hurt a lot.
You really have to play a balance because you do have the Klepto, but Nautilus can surprisingly do a lot of damage, especially if you start in melee range and you allow him to, chip you down with his passive, and then he's still got his Q if you do get out of range. So you got to be careful with that.
I think I told a lie. Thinking back, it's 8 teams in Challenger, so it's 14 games. So it's 6 MVPs out of 14 games. Almost 50% of the series he played in. And of the 12 they won, 50% of them, Kuzan was series MVP.
It's a big deal. You're mentioning how he was pretty much the best player. And
invading, this is the time to get some leads, but they can't afford to botch it post level 6 like they did in game number 1.
you can see also that Katz was playing up and forward, stole some of the Raptors as well, so was hanging around mid lane for quite a while to just allow Kuzan to do this, but Ryan may have found a time to come on in and
there's no kill
make
pressure.
it happen.
It's impossible. There's
yeah.
no way.
I mean, it is Lucian with Flash as well, so.
It's Lucian with Flash and E and no Ignite on these people. It's impossible to do. It could not happen.
It's like a solo queue nightmare. You know that Vlad in solo queue would be blaming Jarvan so much when it's not his fault. As Light taking a lot of damage here. The arrow comes through, and Veritas really flexing down on the bottom side.
This Varus Tom Cans looks better than the last one in terms of the lane trades. In terms of the damage dealt, I like to see some lane busting. Now, it's not shown in the CS, and it's teleport, Ezreal versus teleport Varus, so sometimes you actually sacrifice health bars just to shove waves because of the TP and back timing, so we're not going to read too much into it, but you can only talk about what's on screen. And that looks like it was pretty convincing. I believe Ryan got the information there on catch.
Yeah. Double ping comes through. And so both the junglers know exactly where they are. There's a ward up on the top side. That means that Lucian is going to be ultra safe. Jisoo also has a ward in the river, plus that extra one deep, so no chance that he's going to be ganked, and the pressure continues for that side as Kuzan has move up.
Happy days for Kuzan. That was the first blue. That's the reason why it was shown by the observers. You can tell because the timer reads 5 minutes, so no respawning of major buffs just yet. Used to be a Rek'Sai strategy, right? We all remember those days where the meta for junglers was pick someone who has no mana in order to hand over a blue. That was the worst ever time for junglers.
Felt good for us mid laners, though. Just get all the blues.
As someone who plays both lanes, do you feel conflicted now, or do you just remember the happy days of being a mid laner with blue?
You know, that time has passed now, right? You still expect the blue, although sometimes in Korean Silica you don't always get it, as Catch is going to spot the Jarvan coming in here.
Now, Ryan is in counter gank. The counter gank region, he's close enough here, so they're going to turn on him.
Does a nice amount of damage here, but the Gromp Bertha does go the way of Ryan, so Ruby makes his way over, but they just back away, and Kuzan's like, thank you very much. I might even be able to get a plate. If he doesn't get it here, he'll get it on the next push, as Kuzan is just dominating this mid lane.
And this is honestly kind of a 35 CS 2 turret plates kind of lane. That's what it is for Lucian versus Vlad. Vlad ultra can do nothing in this lane. I'm finding different ways to say that.
I like the way you use the English language in that case.
I mean, people know that I like to use like different words than some people. My diction can be quite large at times, but also
your diction?
Yes, my word choice. That's what it means. I know I'm surprising you with how big my diction is, but it is. I'm just putting it out there. But
I see.
All I'm trying to say is sometimes it's fun for emphasis to just use simpler words in creative ways that actually break the English language, so that people come away being like, all right, I will not lock in Vladimir against Lucian. I won't do it. That's what I want people to learn. Don't do it. It sucks. It really, really sucks.
Yeah. Don't do Vlad against Lucian, kids. It'll ruin your life. As he's, he's already down about 550 gold here in the mid lane. Very sad Vlad at 48 CS. At least he hasn't died yet.
He'll get there. You know, there is definitely a happy ending if this game goes long enough from Vlad. And you can say the same thing about Nautilus top, building tank against a on-hit cannon. At this point, it's probably going to be Gunblade, but again, in the end of the day, it's cannon, right? So it's Grin and Bear at mid, Grin and Bear at top, but a winning lane bot lane, which is important so you don't have 3 losing lanes. And it's ES Sharks who already, with the kind of loaded gun in game number 1, misfire. So right now, VSG are actually the SKT to ESS Griffin in terms of, we'll be fine eventually, let's see what you can do. And so far, they're farming it out. Kuzan's lead is the only meaningful one for ES Sharks. Some people, I'm sure, wondering where the ability power is on Nautilus. It's 9.6 still, so not all the crazy buffs that are there on live server.
Yeah, not yet. I'm really excited for mid lane Nautilus. Can do some pretty funky stuff on the current patch. But yeah, we're not there. Maybe next split. Outside of this lane dominance, there's not too much else happening. I was wondering if Kuzan was going to get that cannon. Thankfully, he did.
What next? Where is this game going next? That's what we're finding out. So far, it's just gold investment, gold investment. We get the confirmation that, I guess after the initial trades, Jisoo's kind of autopiloting to Gunblade on the cannon, which is the Vladimir item you see much more now. Previously, you either had to go on-hit cannon or you lost to Vladimir. Now you can go Gunblade and just sustain your way through and build full AP from there. So the AP's coming. There is the confirmation. It won't be the press the attack on-hit cannon with the Gunblade being almost completed. With the priority in mid and the turret plates being alive, what is the minimum amount of turret plates? It's a fun question to think about as Ruby takes a lot of damage.
It's Hemo Plague just to try to survive here. Looks like he would have survived anyway, but either way, Kuzan just pushes him out of lane. Ruby, though, is going to stick around, did Q onto the rafters, so looks like he can actually stay in the lane, which is very important when he does not have his teleport.
What does it all mean, though, with that priority? It seems like Ocean Drake's star is going to be at least not answered for the start, but for now, at least Veritas and Pure considering contesting.
No Hemo play here, but Ryan is just going to walk on in and try to contest it. It goes the way of Israel. Thank you very much. As Chains of Corruption sail wide. Veritas not able to land that onto the slippery Galio. Fast Gargoyle for being so big, and now Ryan looks like he was just helping push the lane here in the mid lane for just a bit, but not going to help him push it all the way.
It's on ES Sharks to smash and grab. Take everything. It's all yours in the early game. But if you don't take it, it's gone. Turret plates are the same exact analysis, right? The turret plates is gold that can be claimed, and then it's gone. And that's just the way that ES Sharks have to think about their comp, because eventually VSG should have the tools to answer. It's not 100% to zero, but that's the soul of it, and I like the fact that Catch is continuing to play aggressive. No health bar information for Ryan, but he can pop over and EQ out if he wants to check.
Looks like he will eventually, but the priority is still there. And ES Sharks, they're not messing around. I mean, they got everybody up here. Ruby now does have the Tom Kench coming in with the Abyssal Voyage, but Ryan in an awkward spot, probably going to get out of here, but continues hitting that Rift Herald.
Yeah.
Really nice two-shot barrage comes through. Take a look at the health bars of VSG. Now the culling into Ruby, has to use that pull. That's going to be just thank you for the leash, as Ruby has to flash away just to survive. So they get the flash, they get the Rift Herald, and ES Sharks grabbing everything they can.
A lot of trading places between the two lineups. Trader Flash, Jisoo, and Ruby both flash, but the Rift Herald's being jammed in the mid lane. We talked about smash and grab. This is highway robbery.
TP comes in now, but not sure they're going to be able to stop this one. Ryan just threatening it, but at the end of the day, though, doesn't look like they'll be able to take out that turret, so the antics from the side of VSG will stop them there, but still more gold is going to go in the side of the 80 carries of the ES Sharks.
There's very interesting musical chairs around the Rift Herald. The ES Sharks kept it leashed, but Jisoo had to take the long way, so like, oh wow, Sora might get the flank. Problem is that VSG got poked out by the Lucian, had to all back as a team, so it still ends up going the way of the ES Sharks overall. The observers are confirming the Gunblade, which we suspected. If you don't see press the attack and they go to AD, they probably messed up. You kind of need the press the attack to get any value out of Blade the Ruin King and more on a cannon, so going for backup team fighting, going for frontline, and going for some magic damage alongside all the physical damage Rek'Sai, Lucian, and Ezreal provide.
Hey, you gotta have some magic damage in there. You don't want to go up against 5 Ninja Tabby. You can see that already. Sor has picked up the Merc Threads at least. So, will be the one guy on his team to go for that one so far. As not the Drakes that the ES Sharks are really hoping for here. We had Infernal Mountain, Infernal Mountain in the last game, and now we have Open Drake into Clown Drake. So not exactly ES Sharks' favorite ones here, I believe.
Could say that Ocean has quite a lot of value for Kuzan and Light, trying to have lane presence. Not so much for Jisoo, but you want to throw out spells to get turret plates because you have to push minions and harass. So I think Ocean Drake is fine as a first spawn, but I'm with you. The Cloud is a bit dithering as the game goes on. Only Hecarim looks at Cloud, and I guess Naze is the only way to put it. But everyone else is...
I mean, it's all you can do, right? You don't want to...
I mean, he speaks to you. I've played Hecarim.
How does he exactly? Is he some kind of like centaur guy? I thought he was really just all horse.
I think he's less horse than you imagine.
How would you know about this?
I don't know. I've had some conversations with him.
What exactly
apparently.
are you talking about?
Sometimes I wonder. Yeah, Sharks couldn't crack the mid lane turret. The turret plates are down, and they got quite a few. We got the full confirmation of 6. Thank you for throwing those on, just as I was thinking about.
Yeah, 800 more gold.
It's a start. but is it enough? And you never know until that Vlad emo play deletes your health bar. Notice, though, that we, with full information, can say that Vlad ain't got any real items. He's got pieces, so those pieces right now don't do too much.
Culling comes through. Ruby deciding whether or not to use that pool as Fugger comes in. Emo play just to clear out the wave as Ult comes in, and Soar! What is going on?
I mean, it was stylish.
He looked good, yeah.
I don't know what it was, but it was stylish.
Look good, feel good, play good. That's what you got to know. Going golden, it doesn't get much better than that. So thank you, Soar, for that moment. As the turret kind of just inevitably falling there. As this time around, Jisoo with the Galio and the rest of his team. Soar gonna pile on the mistakes as he makes that one come true. First blood will go the way of the cannon Jisoo.
You know what would have been pretty good that time? Stasis.
You know, even in that situation, he just stasises and dies, but probably could have delayed at least. Would have been better than the first one, that's for sure.
There's the hard-hitting color casting I'm looking for from Brendan Valdez, former LCK Finals color caster.
True. It happens. I have that on my resume.
You do? 2012 summer, right? Or 2012 winter?
It was summer.
Summer.
Yeah.
Because
it was
Monty
raining.
and Doa
we
started
outside.
Monty and Doa started in winter, so you were summer.
Yep.
CLG EU versus Azubu
Frost. Yeah.
Sadly, that VOD doesn't exist in high definition in Korean or English.
I know.
I've tried to review it many times.
You've been trying to find my casting from way back when. Just,
I was actually okay with the Korean or the English version, but the English version would, again, have that bonus of you and Loco Doco analyzing. Sadly, I know Riot has it somewhere, but I have been unable to get it.
We gotta ask about that. That needs to be revealed to the public. Just, you know, put that in the archives. To have it, but all you were able to find were some highlights. Or some, I was doing like a voiceover of some of the highlights of the finals. It's pretty interesting what they had me doing back then.
Then Monty and Doa came in, you didn't get a look in, and here you are back as one of our main play-by-plays. So
came all the way around, but just sitting in the other seat, I guess.
But I'm happy you found your place.
Thank you, Thomas 50. Made it back. Took 5 years.
Took the roundabout way.
Yeah.
Sure. Most people don't know, but that was your first eSport, right?
It was, yeah. League of Legends.
Into StarCraft 2 and all those fun things, and all the way back here.
Lots of other games along the way, too. Some fun World of Tanks and Counter-Strike Online, the popular version in Asia.
Crossfire?
A little bit of that, yeah.
I cast that as well at WCG 2013. That's when we first met.
We did cast a lot of different things.
And we cast together, Valdez. People
we
won't
did.
know about that. We are actually primo FIFA commentators.
Yeah, we are. It happened.
We cast an amazing game. It's two teams you'll know very well, Real Madrid versus Real Madrid.
I knew a lot about those teams, even though they were like it's like the most popular team, right?
Yeah.
I actually still don't know.
Caster, by the
Nothing
way.
has changed after, 6 years. It was Real Madrid versus Real Madrid. I didn't know who was on those teams.
Ronaldo tackled Ronaldo a lot of
You
times.
helped me a lot with that one. I kind of just said goal.
Do you remember what my instructions were for you?
Yeah, just say goal. That's it. That's it, you know? My last name is Valdez, you know? It came naturally to me. What can I say?
Know your strengths.
Yeah.
Speaking of strengths, is Vladimir there yet?
You know, he's doing a nice amount of damage, but it's okay. Nicely done. That's not a top Kent. Light, though, is going to survive. The flash comes through. And now Jisoo gets a massive ultimate. Is going to be able to kill the Varus, but where is the follow-up? They want to get onto Ruby, and Light somehow is able to snipe him. This is an all-out slaughter fest for the side of the ES Sharks. Make that an ace with only the one kill going the way of Light.
And we definitely know that the timestamp of 19, the late game hasn't come, the early game is rolling, and ES Sharks just roll over VSG. And with the demolished procs and this early lead, the turrets start to explode. Remember, it's double AD. Lucian builds everything that destroys turrets.
That's going to be already the mid-tier 2 falling at 19 minutes into this one, and you can see what they were thinking. They wanted to catch the Ezreal, but he's a slippery boy.
And the question we raised as we transitioned away from FIFA was, is Vladimir there yet? And very quickly, you can see the answer is no. Ruby knows it. He starts to kite back after the Hemoblade goes down, and yet everyone from VSG says, oh wait, we have a team fight card, let's team fight. But unfortunately, they took the wrong inkling from the Hemoblade. It should have been understood that it was a defensive one, and then everyone just comes up to offer themselves over to ES Sharks, and now this gold lead, it's out of order.
이미 이겼어. 나이스. 폭내 뭐야?
어디 갔어 우리 스노?
이 2레벨 폭내 맞았어. 2레벨 폭 맞았어. 이랬고.
I think I know the gist of this.
So the Nautilus ultimate, he's like, what this? After all that, the Nautilus ultimate hits me? After he even got the kill on the Vladimir, he was, you know, a lot of stuff I didn't have to translate. It's a lot of and coming through.
That was nice and animated. I enjoyed that.
Yeah. He just barely got in range of the Nautilus who pressed R on him, and he died because of that. Feels bad, man.
I must admit, I'm biased to any players who respond with anything more than nicer. Because normally it's just like a long pause, nicer.
Yeah, you know what they say, be unique, and then when everybody's saying Naisu, you gotta be different, but we're saying Jisoo, and he's dead. Or is he? Okay, never mind, hold that thought. He's gonna die in the end, but he gets the kill anyway as light. It's now darkness. Not sure what that one was. He just TP'd into 3 people pop up.
Your play-by-play going to such a fun spot there, and yes, all the extra teleports are summoned, everyone presses theirs, and in this case, VSG trade up in a big way. That's the bonus kill over to the scaling comp, and that's not much of a counter jab, but it is something to the team that's just waiting for the late game.
And amongst all the fun, ES Sharks are slamming the table as another Ocean Drake hits the rift.
And if you say, Papa Smithy, what number am I looking for next to the name of VSG? I'm thinking kind of 42 to 45k gold for them to actually just have
I thought you were going to say
items.
minutes.
No. So the gold total, you know, is 33.5 to 41.1, 8,000-ish gold lead.
Yeah.
ES Sharks is still going to outplay in most team fights. If you ask me how many times 5v5 did VSG win at these items, it's probably about 15 to 20. Yeah, the Cloud Drake's not helping. But eventually, it doesn't matter what the gold lead is if VSG have their items. So they need more team gold. Vladimir needs an item and a half from here. So we're going into the 40s, which I guess is my next decade to hit myself. That's where things for VSG really start to kick off.
Hey, you're very far away from that, though, okay? It's like the next generation. That's, what, 9 years away? You're fine.
Hey, wouldn't it be pretty fun if I was still casting in my 40s? I'm 32 now.
Yeah.
It's far away, but that would mean I'm casting League of Legends. I'll be specific about it, because obviously games come and go, but League is... We're ready. What are they going to do for the 10-year anniversary? I'm so excited about this. What are they doing? What would you do if you're Riot Games? It's a 10-year celebration. Either something selfish for you or something for all the players. Like, what do you think?
I'm kind of a sucker for content. I would love like a giant package of like 5 to 10 champions. I know 10 is a lot, but maybe 5 or so champions. Maybe like a new mode announced, something like that. That would just be my selfish one. But obviously the events, you know, getting everybody together, that kind of thing is also fun.
And a lot of people are going to say free RP, blah, blah, blah. But in that same spirit of you and I, my greedy thing that I really want is I loved the Rise video and how many Easter eggs there were on the history of esports, you know, through all the victories and it being revealed as ambition. A 10-year retrospective, like 5 to 6 minute video with even more of that content, like that presses all the buttons in my brain that like get all the neurons to fire that make me excited. So that's what I'd be looking for, like one of those really rewarding videos. Because I watched so much of the last 10 years that I think I'd be able to catch most of the references.
I mean, people are already talking on Twitter about, you know, some of the highlight moments throughout the years. And I think highlighting all of that in one big video is pretty much necessary. You know, I don't think you're stretching the boundaries with that ask. I think we'll absolutely get kind of a, you know, look in the past of League of Legends throughout the years.
For full disclosure, guys, we are not Riot casters, not directly employed by Riot Games. We do have freelance contracts with them, so we literally get told nothing about any of these things. So there's no Easter eggs here. And
we're just as much in the dark as you guys.
It is actually Good Friday, so Easter eggs at
there
reference. Here's the Wombo engage attempt, but they're thinking about it.
Looking to back off, though. Ruby in an awkward spot. Does get knocked up, but into the pool he goes, as it looks like this time around, ES Sharks just too far ahead. And even after that kind of hesitating engage, still able to pick up 2 kills.
And it's not over 40k gold on the side of VSG, so the gold lead enough for ES Sharks in the Baron buff. A good way to trivialize team fight power. VSG waiting upon waiting, but you face check the wrong brush. The wombo engage comes in, and this should be Baron ESS. No smite steal potential.
Yeah, don't think, okay, he's actually gonna try. He's getting in there. This is gonna be close, actually. They want to kill him first, as Pure is not gonna be able to get it. Nice try, buddy. Would have been a huge fan if he could pull that off.
Yeah, it was an under-leveled smite, but a smite nonetheless, right?
Yep.
Coming in with the Abyssal Voyage. I've never seen the Abyssal Int smite steal one-person attempt. This is a new one. I mean, what else would you like to call it? As we watch the replay here, eventually you're going to face check a brush because Baron threat is there. The Baron threat cements 2 kills, and Ruby's just always been so well held in the laning phase by the Lucian pick, and now in the teamfight phase by the frontliners.
Yeah, Jesus doing some insane damage now. I mean, Ryan, you can see the build that he's gone for. It's not Cinderhulk, it's straight Warrior into Black Cleaver, and he has Ninja Tabi. So Jisoo gets on top of him, and it's like, well, see you later. You don't exist anymore as a champion.
And if there was an MI6 in real life, I'd like to think that 006 would be the real agent, because 007 would be too obvious. So 006 Rek'Sai, definitely looking like...
What about 009 Guger? He's 009.
That sounds like a comedy movie's spy leader, sadly. It's so
009.
close to the word goober, right? Which obviously
Yeah.
makes you think about not the most well-trained agent, far away from the James Bonds. So I'm going to go with my 006 story. I think that was Sean Bean, if I remember correctly. But on the bot side here...
Yeah, Nautilus is pretty tanky, but he's now going to be devoured over the wall as Ruby goes in and he goes out. Can't explain that one. As, okay, Cacho's really trying to get in there. May have to pay for it, but nice stopwatch as in goes the Kennen. And see you later. Kind of a foregone conclusion at this point as Ryan trying to lock him down. May actually get him in the Cataclysm here.
Pikachu, no!
There he goes!
Pikachu's dead.
Or Pikachu. Well,
They should be able to win the
anyway.
game here. The death timers are decently long.
Yeah.
Veritas trying his best.
Oh no!
Respawns. Minion wave. Okay, minion wave's here. Where are the respawns at? Still 20 seconds.
Not
and they
like
got it.
this, Galio. Okay, there you go. 15-5 ES Sharks. Very easily going to be able to shut down VSG in game number 1. Priority in the mid lane, and on to Kuzan means wins for ES Sharks.
Game number 1 scaling. Mistakes from ES Sharks. Scaling comes in. VSG wins. Game number 2. Same side selection. Didn't see too many people packing up their keyboards. So let's see what that means, because VSG almost always swap out like 3 to 5. So
Yeah.
we'll get the confirmation when we come back from the break. Kennen did some real damage. So even though Pikachu died, it's still a happy ending. They won in the end.
Yeah.
I mean, Pikachu's dead, so that's kind of sad, but that's what happened. What happens in game number 3? Because I really like this small adaptation. It was still the same semblance of the story, but ES Sharks did it better in game number 2.
Looking good after that one game, so we'll have to wait and see. It now is a best of 3 between these two teams, so who's going to take the lead in game 3? We'll find out after the break.